Okay, so welcome again, and thanks for doing this. This is Caelan Coe and Ken Stevens, who played respectively Kenneth and Malcolm in Over My Dead Body, Suzanne Plummer's world premiere that we did in November of 2019. And we're interviewing them a little bit about their experience. And so I'd like to start by asking you, and whoever wants to start first is fine, but talk a little bit about how it was to have this opportunity to work on a world premiere, something that had not been staged prior to that, except as a stage reading.
You know, for me, it was kind of interesting to think that, you know, I knew that there had been a staged reading of the show before, but I had not seen it or talked to anybody about it. But it was kind of fun to know that these characters had never really come to life before, except in Suzanne's head, the writer's head. And it was kind of an interesting thing to be able to you know, kind of say, okay, explore that character a little bit and know that whatever you're doing has never been done before. Even if the writer imagined it, it's never happened.
Right,
so
right.
bringing that to life was actually pretty exciting.
Right, and not to have a preconceived notion because you saw somebody else do it.
Exactly.
Which is so hard
also
for actors.
Knowing that other people had not seen anything, so that they're coming in completely fresh. So whatever you present to them is what they're taking home,
right.
And what they'll think about is that character, maybe if they see it again. So
right. And anybody else who produces this play down the road, this is what they're going to have to compare it to.
Exactly.
Yeah. How about you, Caelan?
Yeah, I thought it was just a really amazingly freeing experience in the sense that, yeah, there was no other, you know, expectations of what was going to happen. You know, whatever we came up with on how our character was going to be, you know, within reason, was how the character was going to be. And it was also, you know, kind of daunting in the sense that, you know, we're taking this character that has never existed before, except for in somebody's head, and we're just running with it and, you know, hoping that Suzanne likes what we've done with her characters.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's always the hard part for playwrights. When I talk to playwrights when they get their play up for the first time is letting go and realizing not only do they have to let go of what actors do, but they have to let go of what the director is going to do, because it's got to be somebody else's vision now. So it's a tough one.
It is. Yeah, it's a strange predicament to be in, knowing that there's this you know, this person out there who created these characters and all their interactions and all the things that take place. And you know, I'm certain that she had something in mind. If it's what we put on, who knows?
Right,
but it was something.
Right. Unfortunately, what we know is she liked it. So
yes. Well, and that's the other interesting thing is, you know, having worked on plays where you have no idea who the writer is, you know, like it's a name.
Right.
It may be a famous name, but, you know, having this, you know, writer that, you know, you actually know and you get to talk to and you have them watching you perform is a completely different experience in terms of, you know, it's, you know, it's right there and they can immediately see what you've interpreted of their writing and what you haven't. And, you know, it's actually a great way in the sense that it's almost a two-way street rather than just a one-way street, in the sense that, you know, things were changed after we started working on it.
Right.
And, you know, we were able to talk with her afterwards and say, yeah, this bit, you know, worked amazingly well. And she was able to see, you know, that what worked and what, you know, didn't work quite as well as what she might have hoped for. And, you know, it was an incredibly organic process.
Right. Yeah, and of course it had gone through revisions because she revised it before we did the stage reading, and then she revised it as a result of that. So changes were made before it actually went up as a full production. Well, I'll be interviewing her after Thanksgiving, so we'll see what she has to say about all this.
Right? Yeah.
Right. And I'll be
See how many
interviewing.
of the jokes we missed and how many we
Yeah.
got.
I suspect she'll be good to us.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm working with her on another new script. So we're hoping we're going to be able to do another one of her shows as a premiere. It's kind of the fun part of doing the work we're doing now with having these slots for brand new work, which was not part of our mission statement initially, but it really is turning out to be a piece of what we do. So
Right.
it's a really fun project, actually. So I'm going to do something here. I'm going to go ahead and show you the clip. All right, I'm going to share it.
Fun.
All right.
Let's see what we got here.
One with the world. The essence of life flows through me, echoing back all that I need to breathe life into the character of Desmond Larkin. I am one with the world. You are one with the world. The essence of life flows through me. Eggs and their whites flow through me. It must be this room. Echoing. Back. All that I need to breathe life into the character of Desmond Larkin.
Good luck with that.
Sorry, I didn't hear you come in. I thought for a moment I was losing my mind.
That's an occupational hazard in my line of work.
I'm here to audition for the role of Desmond Larkin.
Oh, good for you. I'm sure it'll be great audition practice for you. I'm Kenneth.
Malcolm, what do you mean audition practice?
Well, I mean, it's good to practice going for auditions. It keeps your skills nice and sharp.
But I'm hoping to get this part.
You can't be serious. No, you're all wrong for it. I mean, look at you. Desmond doesn't have a beard. It'd get in the way of all the gory makeup, and you're far too short and healthy looking. No, I'm afraid you've wasted your time.
Look, I don't know who you are, but my girlfriend works here, and she said this part is still up for grabs.
Oh, your girlfriend works here.
What's that supposed to mean?
Is she pretty?
Well, yes, but Kate has nothing to do with this. She is a professional, completely above board. I am an actor. I have training. I have skills.
Right.
I don't think I like what you're insinuating.
Look, it's obvious the director is doing your pretty, professional, above-board girlfriend a favor. He's being kind to her short, bearded, too healthy-looking, out-of-work boyfriend. So, the part is mine.
What makes you think you're what the director wants?
I play them for a living.
Play them?
Bodies.
So do I.
How many times have you been murdered, then?
Murdered? I don't know. Enough? I've done my fair share of Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie. Child's play. 4,537.
What?
I have hit the stage, bit the dust, curled up my toes, croaked, screamed, gargled, choked, gagged, yanked, and twitched my way off this mortal planet 4,537 times.
Good for you. What about acting?
Dying is acting.
You don't think I know how to die?
You? I don't think you know the first thing about dying.
I can die with the best of them. I've been in shows that have opened and closed on the same night. I know how to die.
Right, yeah.
That's our little scene that we decided would be a good way to have a conversation about your roles. So you sort of touched on this in the previous question, but what was it particularly like playing these characters? And I guess more so, how did you prepare Because these are very physical characters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of the preparing was, stretching before each show and rehearsal. But then also it was, I don't know, it was a process of getting into that, young, arrogant actor as an actor. That was, a really fun process of, playing almost yourself, because you're playing an actor, but you're playing more than yourself, in the sense that you have to be so invested in knowing that you're completely the best person at dying, and that nobody else is better at dying than you.
And then you're up against Big Bird.
Yeah, and
yeah, I mean, for me, it was, I mean, strangely enough, I mean, I think there are a lot of similarities between myself and Malcolm, but at the same time, I think there are also a lot of similarities between Caelan and Kenneth. So, I mean, yeah, like he said, it was strange playing yourself, but not yourself, because I having read through the script, I really interpreted Malcolm as this neurotic, kind of weird, I'm so good, and I've done this, and I can do almost anything kind of guy, which is not necessarily me, but that's how Malcolm came across to me, as this neurotic kind of guy. So it's like, I got to do everything I can to make people feel that Malcolm is just like lost his freaking mind. As he said, it blew my mind. As he said in the clip there. But it's funny. Malcolm is absolutely like 100% method actor. He's gonna get in there, and he's just gonna be that person. He's gonna live that person. But Malcolm is so neurotic. He's gonna take that and live that as his life. He's not just going to do it on stage. He's forever, method, and that's the way he goes. So
right. And without giving too much away, of course, he's coming into this after a sort of difficult time in his life as an actor.
Yes.
So this is kind of like a last chance.
Exactly. Yeah, and Kate, kind of hints at that, but she's not in that clip. But that's it's interesting that Malcolm never really gets that, I don't think. He's kind of on the mind that, oh no, this will be fine. we'll be okay. We'll do other stuff. Yeah.
Well, so that leads into this last question, which is, because it is these two characters in particular are such physical characters by the nature of what they have to do. What was the rehearsal situation like? How was it to go into rehearsal, and how did you work in a way with all the physicality of this?
For me, it was scary. I mean, I spent I think an inordinate. I'm just closing the door here. I spent an inordinate amount of time, I believe, really fighting to maintain where I was, so that I didn't hurt Kenneth. And I did a few times, and I still feel bad about that. I'm sorry, Caelan. But it was. I wasn't necessarily concerned about myself. I mean, I was, but I was really more concerned about everybody else in the scene, and making sure that my actions were not such that if I hit something and it fell over, that it would cause this cascade failure, and other people would get hurt. It was really, for me, that's really what it was about, and trying not to hurt other people at the same time not hurting myself. And I know Caelan got kicked a couple of times in the sensitive bits, as Suzanne would say.
Yeah. How about it for you, Caelan?
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting process of, as Ken was just saying, where he was trying to make sure that he was always watching, where everyone else was so that nobody got hurt. And, I was, in the same boat, but I was then also on the side of, trying to make it look like I got injured, night after night doing all of these, honestly, silly, insane stunts that we would be pulling. And, after rehearsals, I'd get home and, the next morning I'd notice, oh, look, there's, another bruise that, happened last night as I accidentally tore down curtains in one of the shows and ended up falling a bit further than I'd intended. Or, it was one of those things of embracing the fact that I was going to get bruised, but, still trying to convey that sense of, my character is a stunt actor, and whether or not I was a stunt actor, trying to look as much like a stunt actor as I could.
Well, it seemed very well choreographed. I mean, I would say when you have to do stunts like this and do the physicality of this kind of a show, there has to be some pretty good planned, kind of choreographed movement in order to make it work and to make it look relatively consistent from performance to performance.
Yeah. There was definitely a lot of rehearsals where it was, just me and Ken and Gabe working for just hours on specific scenes of, okay, here's how we're gonna, make it look like you're dying without actually killing you.
Right.
And so just going over things over and over and just working out anything that could possibly go wrong and making sure that it didn't.
Right.
Yeah, and that was a challenge, I believe. I mean, Caelan, I think you got really the hardest job in that, everything that was being done was, you were either doing it over the top yourself or it was being done to you. Not much of it happened to me.
Yeah.
Except for that one scene. But I think, without the choreography, this would have been an absolute just nightmare, and we both would have wound up in traction in the hospital at least for a day or two.
Yeah. Well, and I think it was a fun process of, as we would get more comfortable with the choreography, we would then, talk amongst each other and go, okay, what if we surprise Gabe with, this little tidbit?
Yes.
And what if this happens?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're giving
like being hit with a chicken or something,
Yeah.
You're giving me some fodder for my interview with Gabe tomorrow. Huh. Okay. Great. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. It'll be fun to push this out and let some folks see what we're going to be showing them towards the end of December. And I hope you guys can join us. But I want to thank you so much for taking a few moments out of your afternoon to go ahead and do this interview.
Oh, yes.
Happy to do it.
Thank you.